You can't just poke the spearman next to you?
I want to set up for a crit on Sedge. Because currently I'm just unable to harm Sedge.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nope, never mind. No crit on Sedge, crit on this guy. I was hoping we'd have a little bit more range, but my pikemen are slow. Okay, luckily we can just give these guys. I'm probably going to send, start trying to take villages, though our income is looking fine.
Well, there's that village on the left that is completely unattended. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's see. Let's grab a knight.
Yeah, he's retreating, but there are dogs and other
Well,
units coming down.
I mean, does that count? Is that actually a foe? I have doubt.
They do look like little dinosaurs. It's kind of cute.
Yeah, but I mean, it has 1 HP left, and it's not healing, so it does actually no damage.
Oh, you're already attacking that middle base?
Yeah.
Shouldn't you secure the one on the left?
Nah, this will keep him distracted. Let's see.
Well, and also strike back against the dog.
No.
Oh.
That dog literally does no damage. Like, it is incapable of hurting anything. Huh. And yet, no, it did actually manage to, it did manage to harm the crystal for 22 points of damage.
That's why you're supposed to
I am
protect the crystal.
underestimating 2% dog. Look, when I see something that is just straight up 2% dog, I'm like, yeah, it's probably not going to be very effective at combat. I mean, if you had 2% of your health left, you'd probably be pretty decrepit, yeah?
Probably at death.
Like, have you ever thought about that in an RPG?
If they were actually accurate to how much health you've had, I've thought of that quite often, actually.
Like, I wanna play some games like that someday. I mean, obviously it would be a little bit macabre, but like, injuries really matter.
But it's interesting because it seems like in many games, the longer that you're in combat, the more resources you build up to fight your enemies. You never are facing that attrition of losing stamina, losing your health, losing your vitality, and losing maybe even some functions with your limbs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, because if you think about it...
Oh, dog did, like, no damage. It must take damage over time. Yeah, it loses 20% of its HP every round, it looks like.
Because it's a temporary addition to the field. The thing is, games have you facing greater and greater foes with rarely any downtime in between to rest up and gain back your strength. You can hand wave things away with, oh, potions and things of the like. But you're going through long battles, facing harder enemies, while also physically your character would be in a state if, say, you're at 30% health of ouch. And that would affect their performance. But that would be an extra layer to add.
That would be a cool extra layer.
I know.
Like, I would like to play a game...
That it would actually change how you fought.
Yeah. Well, I would like to play a game, I guess, maybe closer to Fallout in style. You know, much more... Well, I guess it kind of depends on the Fallout games. Some Fallout games definitely have you up against, like, loads of enemies. Fallout Frost actually was kind of like that now that I'm thinking about it. Where... you know, taking damage really mattered. Especially early on, when you had, like, no resources. Getting hurt at all meant life or death to some degree. So, like, yeah, if I got just clipped, it would kill me.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's actually really compelling. Unfortunately, it didn't really have, like, realistic limb damage or anything like that.
Yeah, now that I think about it, when I was playing Senua's Sacrifice, I think that if she got injured enough, and aside from the sides of the screen starting to blur and whatnot, I believe she would stagger and have slower reaction times.
You know what I want to play, kind of in this vein? A mech game.
Where you're losing art limbs, like, off
Yeah,
the mech.
because I almost feel like...
Your systems have been damaged. You can no longer use propulsion.
Yeah.
Things of that nature.
Yeah, like, I feel like... A mech game where, like, they really simulate hard how much, like...
And then between battles, you would have to have resources and repair times.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if, like, your character straight up even had, like... how would I describe it? Depending on their... your, like, mechanical abilities or your facilities and stuff, certain, like, damage would straight up be unfixable. And you'd have to, like, go find a specialist or something like that, or risk lose your mech. Unfortunately...
Or you have to find MacGuffin items to repair one thing or another.
The problem with a lot of these is just, nobody wants to play these games. You know, it's not actually very fun.
It doesn't play into the power fantasy that most people are searching for.
Well, it's also one of those where it's like, death in a video game is often really boring and crappy. Like, you know, when you die in a game, it sends you back. And that sucks. Okay, let me double check. So I can do some things here.
Sedge has his superpower, whatever that is.
Yep.
His groove.
He hurts.
But he's gonna
Yeah.
take one of them out.
Oh. My goal here is to injure him badly. Maybe... I don't think I'm going to be able to kill him this round. I might be able to kill him in the next round. No, I might be able to take him out here, actually.
I have a feeling that you prefer to strike at the commanders as opposed to the garrisons, because
Well, the
they'll
commander
harry you
defends the garrison.
the
It's
rest of the
hard
way.
to
Yeah.
even reach. Whereas here, Sedge overextended with no help and got surrounded by heavy critters. You know, 2 dogs and 2 spearmen is deadly.
You think you can beat Sedge so easily? This isn't the end of the hunt. Sedge will catch you. Sedge will watch you. Sedge will stalk you. And when you least expect it, Sedge will pounce.
Sedge! There you are. Who are these strangers?
We're
Invaders!
Oh,
Humans bent on the destruction of the Gloomwoods. Sedge caught them. Sedge defeated them.
what?
Greenfinger need not worry. Soon they will be dead.
Greenfinger? The Floran King?
B. But then again, whoops.
Took a little while.
Yeah, note to self, don't try and get clever in this game. It punishes you hard.
Hey, a branching path.
So, Act 2, Side 1. Sure.
So side 1 versus going
Hey!
to the main plot.
K9 Justice. Alone in the woods, Caesar finds some villagers in need of aid. Dog. Help! Outlaws!
Hand over your valuables, and no one will get hurt. What have we here?
I'm a little bit too close to Sedge, but whatever. Wolf.
Be off with you! Can't an outlaw make a decent living in these woods without being hounded by armored beasts?
Arr.
You don't intimidate me!
He intimidates me. Yeah, me.
Just get this villager back to camp and lock him up, will you?
Oh yeah, will you?
Yeah. My ability to simulate accents is getting better slowly. Dog.
Dog.
Gruff. Wow, Commander brought us to a tumble-down fortress. Interesting, we better explore.
Caesar takes the lead.
Caesar does nothing. Caesar watches as I murder. Let's see. Labyrinth of Refrain does limb damage as a mechanic. Interesting.
Opens the way. What is this fortress? Perhaps the ruins of an old human kingdom? Or just a remote outpost?
Yeah, I don't know. Bandit camp, it looks like.
Oh, well, the bandits have taken over the ruins.
I like Caesar. Okay, that'll wreck
Caesar
him.
actually backs his men up. At least in that instance. That or, if he's attacked, he has units with him.
Yeah, he's got his buddies.
Oh,
That's hilarious.
He lets them do the work.
What a dog! What a freaking dog! All right, ooh.
He gets to bark orders.
Wow.
Oh, bandit knights. I like how the bandits are obviously just the human units recolored, but it works.
It works. I'm looking forward to the new Fire Emblem coming out, so I want to see what they do with, like, the Switch. I hope they actually do something with the Switch. Like, to capitalize in it. Because, like, look at how just beautiful these backgrounds are.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that really kind of disappointed me a little bit about the,
Oh, another reason why they have the map is, if you notice, this map is larger. So you can actually pan around it, can't you?
Yeah. Yeah, so it actually feels like I'm on a map table-ish.
Mm-hmm.
It's a neat style. It works well, actually.
If it wasn't so expensive, I would love to try out one of the, what would you call them? It's a kind of tabletop game.
A touchscreen table? Or...
Oh, no. Well, touchscreen tables would be awesome.
Caesar, you're glowing. Wolf. Oh, his groove must be fully charged. He looks so inspiring. Inspiring's right. Caesar's groove inspires adjacent spent units to have a second go. Oh, that's helpful.
They can attack twice? Go Caesar. No, as the touchscreen would be really cool for things like D&D and whatnot.
Yeah.
But especially because then you could just maybe have another computer that hooks up to that computer and then it... Yeah. I don't know if you'd be able to get touchscreen capabilities per se.
For D&D? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It is a thing. I would set it up if
you knew we had more people to play with.
Yeah.
And then there's... but I meant the old-fashioned models and stuff. Not necessarily just with tabletop games, but with...
You mean like minifigs?
Minifig campaigns where you're...
I mean, I have a
having
bunch
battles.
of those. Oh, so like Warhammer.
Yeah.
Like, action. I got it.
Those
isn't
are
that
expensive.
wargaming? I think that's called wargaming.
It's called wargaming?
Uh-oh.
I just remember we would go to the local... It was a mixture of card games, minifigures, tabletop game books, and whatnot, and they would have a couple of tables set up with terrain. And people would play with them. Though I wonder how you balance it.
It's difficult.
Because what if someone decides to bring their Mega Dragon to the team? Maybe they have a point buy system.
So yeah, it really depends. So I used to play. Oh shoot, I don't remember the name of it. It was. it was one of those, like, you had minifigures and they had their stats on, like, the base, and you'd, like, click it around.
Yeah.
It was...
They had those for Star Wars at one point. They had
I think
those
it's the
for-
same company. I've just totally blanked on which company it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would think that they would have a point buy system so that you couldn't, like, each creature has a monster level or a monster.
It wasn't HeroClix. It was made by the same people that made HeroClix, but not the HeroClix people, and I can't remember. Yeah. Anyway, so
It was definitely more of a early 2000s
I'm gonna look
thing.
it up. No. It's still very much like a modern thing. Okay, WizKids. WizKids is made... Let me double check this. Unfortunately, I feel like WizKids might be a little bit too much. Products. Maybe it wasn't HeroClix. It was very similar to HeroClix. No, it straight up was... It was WizKids. I wonder if they discontinued it or something like that.
There are a number of things that I've seen discontinued. But yeah, I remember there being Star Wars
Mage Knight. There we go.
Oh.
It was, I think it was Mage Knight. Yeah. So they had these, like...
I've seen... Yeah, you had some of those.
Yeah, I
at
have
your
a bunch
house.
of those in a thing. They were kind of neat, and so I was really into them at the time, and I thought they were pretty rad, and I was like, yeah, you know, let's give this a go and see if it's any good.
I think even World of Warcraft and a number of other franchises had those. Actually, there's a current Starship version one for, I believe, Star Wars, but then they might also have a Star Trek one at one point.
Yeah. So all I remember is I had some of my own HeroClix. This door likely leads to the main hall. Right. And who knows what's inside. Probably better to free the prisoners before we head in there. So I had a couple of HeroClix that we picked up when we were living in California, but we'd never really used them because they're kind of expensive to pick up, and you know, I didn't want to spend like too much money.
They say it's X-Wing for the Star Wars one.
Yeah.
I thought that there was something called Armada.
Yeah, I think that's also a thing. But so I picked up Mage Knight figures back in California. I thought it was cool, but we never played too much of it, and it wasn't like that big of a passion project. And one of my brother's friends found out we had been getting into overextending him way too much.
Because you forge ahead with him.
Well, I'm like trying to scout with him a little bit because he's the only character that I have that heals. Which makes it a little tougher. Because more or less, there's nobody to defend. But yeah, so we sat down to play, and he's like, "Oh yeah, here, let me go grab mine," and he just plops down like $300+ you know, figurines that I recognized from the shops as like the ridiculous
you mean
ones.
He had a couple of the ridiculous ones. Okay.
Yeah, and it was straight up just like very obvious. Oh crap, we might have to do this one again.
Oh no.
Nope, he's tanking it. I was not expecting.
Yeah, people are saying that Armada, the Star Wars Armada is Fantasy Flight. Okay, I've definitely heard of Fantasy Flight. Yeah, I remember looking at some of the intricate figures for Warhammer and really wanting to get one of the sort of like these treant creatures because they were so cool looking, and they were $60 online. I'm like, wow, for $60, you know, unpainted, they probably have to be 10 inches tall, right? Nope.
Ooh.
They're about...
Prisoners! Ooh. Commander Caesar inspired them to fight. Yep. Oh.
They're at most 4 inches tall, and I was upset.
Caesar's still agitated. There must be more prisoners that need our help. I mean, I straight up wouldn't mind grabbing a couple of Warhammer figurines just as figurines. Not even, like, planning on ever playing with them. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't mind doing a Warhammer tabletop game someday. Like, D&D style.
Yeah, didn't your brother play a game? And did everyone have to be part of the same faction and work out battle strategy
really.
as opposed to actually serving as their characters? I thought they were leading factions as opposed to just leading characters within the factions. I don't know. I think there are some people that have careers just painting minifigures and selling them.
Yeah, not so much careers necessarily.
Mm-hmm. Or it might be like a side hobby.
It's a good side hobby for making money. I know that for sure. Because, what was it? Like, I will frequently read that choosing beggars subreddit.
Oh, and people are asking for, figures.
Yeah, well, it's like, paint my figures for me. I'll pay you $20 if you buy this set and then paint them for me. And it's like,
the money only barely covers the set itself, or not?
No, it doesn't even. It's not even close to covering the set, which is why I usually kind of laugh about it a little bit. But yeah, there's online businesses for painting. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
I can't imagine. Some of the figures are so small. I've seen people do really impressive airbrushing jobs, and they have the really teeny tiny brushes and get a lot of detail in there. I've actually seen a number of businesses popping up to 3D print your D&D figures.
Yes.
Like, you can customize their poses, the races that they are, equipment that they have, various features, whether or not they have a familiar with them, the ground that they're standing on.
Yep.
And then whether or not they're cast in.
I want to say that trend started with World of Warcraft, where they just 3D print your World of Warcraft characters. It's kind of neat.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, these ones are the small figures that you use with Dungeons & Dragons tables. I think there are things like Hero Forge and whatnot, but...
Yeah. Something that would be interesting to look into, especially, like, further on, if that makes sense. Like,
some of them you can get in metal as opposed to just
Yeah.
plastic, but if they're metal, you wouldn't want to paint them, probably. The plastic ones would be better for painting.
They survive, they survive. It's barely, but they survive. Trying to leverage what crits I can.
This is an instance where you can't bring back...
Yeah, I can't bring back, I can't hire new ones, and I can't heal.
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't so bad, but it's hurty. It's not actually that big of a deal. I was just kind of hoping I could get Caesar to heal just a little bit more. He's actually a bit of a heavy hitter. The other problem is just getting dudes around. I love the fact that you can score crits based on, like, unit positioning, but it's...
Oh. More prisoners.
Brilliant. More prisoners free and up for a fight.
Oh, so you are getting more troops.
Yeah,
because the
so it's not
prisoners
actually
turn
that big of a
troops.
deal. Woof, 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 woof. Seems there's still prisoners trapped in the fortress. We have to find them. So, prisoners.
And then that would probably just be the Bandit King in the main hall.
And we should have quite the force for taking that on. Probably gonna go stack my archers next to everything.
Bandits are a ubiquitous part of fantasy, I find.
Yeah,
or
well,
I suppose on the high seas it would be pirates.
Yeah,
they're like
bandits
in a
are
way.
really easy goon enemies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're they're threatening enough that you're...
They're outlaws not affiliated with any kind of political... They're not affiliated with a kingdom or anything unless they're mercenaries hired by them and such.
Yeah. And it's one of those where, like, bandits make a really good... I mean, I guess if we're going to go D&D terms, 1st to 5th level enemy type.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a dog there. That's fine. So, like, you know, they're better armed than villagers, but not as well armed as, like, soldiers are.
Mm-hmm.
So, just gonna dump him over here. A little bit late for the archers.
And because they typically have the reputation of preying upon the weak and attacking local townsfolk,
There's no moral quandary.
Mm-hmm.
There's no moral quandary to defeating or killing them or whatever. And so it's like kind of a good test. And generally bandits never feel terribly like out of place, if that makes sense.
Okay, this doesn't look good. You probably should keep
Nah,
Caesar
I'm good.
alive.
It's fine. Caesar's got this.
Why is he rolling on the ground? And
Don't underestimate dog powers.
what about Inspire? You've never done that.
I did.
Oh.
It lets people take a second turn. So this is actually a crit type that I haven't used before. The basic, like, soldiers with the swords and the shields always crit if they're next to their commander. And I'm bad at that.
Oh.
Kind of wish you could actually just pick your, like, what leader you bring in with you for every battle. Because this would have been, well, I guess this would have been ludicrously easy with Mercia.
Mercia.
America! Okay. Put another archer over here.
So you're gonna attack from both sides?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I don't know what's in here, but it'll be a lot easier if I just mob him from both. I'd probably open the door on the left. Or the top.
See what's at the bottom of
Well, yeah.
that hallway. I don't know what it could be.
Bust it down. Get more troops. Dogs! Those were last prisoners. We freed everyone. Yeah. Now that everyone's free, we should enter the main hall and finish off these cutthroat outlaws. I guess really I should let you just handle some of these lines because...
I like how they had different portraits for the soldiers.
Yeah, it's nice. Oh, there's a dude.
Mm-hmm.
There's a dude!
Is he all on his own?
That looks like it. He just must not have aggroed due to fog of war.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
The
might as
fog
well-
of war.
Might as well put the hurt on him a little bit. Doesn't really help much. And my archer's probably gonna get poked. Yeah. Figured as much. Oh well. I've got several archers just kind of sitting around. They're not actually bad in melee. In Fire
There's
Emblem.
another knight.
Or
not knights.
Yeah.
Soldiers.
Yep. In Fire Emblem, archers would they couldn't attack in melee.
Mm-hmm.
Oh jeez. There's actually a lot of dudes down here. Oh well.
And because they got the slip on you, they have a little bit more of an advantage.
Eh. Not actually a big deal.
Okay, so they've used red is for the Cherry Kingdom. Cherrystone, I believe.
Yeah.
Then it's green for the Florins, blue for the Necromancers, or just Felheim. And then I think I already mentioned black for the Outlaws. Or maybe not. So I wonder if there are other factions. Who will be purple? Who will be gold?
Gold is the, Golemancer.
Wait, there's a Golemancer fan?
Yeah, remember the intro?
Oh. Admittedly, I think from the intro I only saw the ragdoll, like, corpse girl, the Florans, someone with fans? Someone had used magical fans in order to fight. I forget what else. Obviously, we saw Sigrid again. I wonder what will happen when Mercia finds out about Sigrid and how Sigrid assassinated her father. It'll probably be one of those moments where perhaps she will want to enact her revenge, but then they entreat to her with the whole, oh, but you are the aggressors in the first place, blah, 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 blah.
He survived! And the range didn't work either. Enemy positioning is a little bit more of a pain in the butt. I thought it would be. Do we hit him? No, I'm just gonna plonk him right there.
You couldn't hit him even though he was right below you?
I could hit him, but
I thought your guy would.
No, I should have hit him. I mean, I would have turned out for
he...
the worst, but I would have hit him, and now he's gonna go hit my archer, and whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter. This mission's a done deal one way or another.
Oh.
Nah, this guy does nothing. Look at it.
He'll die.
Yeah, but eh.
Okay, so you only have that one soldier left, and then you can enter the room.